all the fighters gotta make themselves hot.
Yeah.
It's not set up for the matches to be made where it's good matchmaking. Eventually they gotta meet. One guy might be sacrificed against the other. It ain't like that over there. It ain't like
Hmm.
that at Def Jam. Just because you on Def Jam, just because Uncle Russ is over there, you gonna release a good album and have all these guys on your project.
Your project could go to shit just cause so the name no longer means anything, you know? So, Al Heyman is like Russell Simmons, a figurehead. Matter of fact, he like Lady Eloise and Boomerang and shit.
Okay, so look, I recall when Cardi B blew up, right? I used to kind of see some of the things she used to do, and I used to think she was silly, but it was clear that she was already an entertainer. Then she get her deal, and then it comes out that she had a 360. Now, what had came out was that she had a lot of things popping off ancillary doing her own self, but because she didn't really fully bet on herself, if she took that deal to where, hey, it's more like a security thing, where my numbers go good, maybe I'll make a little bit more, but I'm getting that security of knowing, okay, this is what I'm going to get, this, and this. Some people say that she kind of lost out. Now, she did blow to where I think it kind of, washed itself out. But I saw that when it came to Cardi B.
You're absolutely right, because there was a lot of money left on the table because she was afraid. Now, what she did was she said, I'm coming from where I'm coming from, and this is more than I've ever seen, and I know what I had to do for a couple stinking ones in the shoebox. I'm already up. So I think it was being nervous, right? But I think at the same time, she did the best thing she could do because she took what was there. And for her, with the climate, it was no guarantee. Now, we knew she was a star, but maybe some of those numbers scared her in the opposite direction. And they said, well, if they put a lot of ifs and made it seem like them ifs wasn't possible, I guess even a better situation. Let's look at somebody like Boosie. Boosie is the kind of person. Boosie could take a 360 from Atlantic because he's already built. And when he sit down for his 360 is, y'all can take a piece out of all the shit I got going, but y'all percentage is more like 35 or 30 or 25 because I was built how I was built. On my own, I was getting 10 grand for a walkthrough. With y'all, I get 30 now. On my own, my highest, I was getting 75,000. But now that I'm with Atlantic, I get 100,000, 150,000.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And shout out to Mr. Hairdo. Peace and love to you, brother. Stopping in, showing live from Just Do Boston Family. Salute. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the appreciation. But yeah, that's a good segue. I like how you broke that down. Now, I want to go into the boxing thing now. And we could touch on any of your labels. I know that I want to learn more from you when it comes to the things going on over the pond, because I am following the boxers, but as far as how I go, I follow Eddie real close now. I follow Eddie close, you know what I'm saying? That's but I want to talk about Top Rank because I used to do these videos called Teddy's Takes, and they did really well. You know what I'm saying? They did really well. And one of the things that he actually said was that Top Rank was the perfect, basically, starter kit, build a star. Because this was the time when Muhammad Ali's grandson came out, Nico Ali Walsh, and everybody was talking about, well, why is he garnering this attention and this and this and this, and they were matchmaking him right, and he came out and he looked like he could actually, do the deal, and then people said, okay, well, let's give him room to grow, right? And then that one kind of triggered Teddy that day to say, look, man, I work with them, and they are known for building stars, and we see it in history where they might be appropriate, like for in the music, Sometimes you need that company that's going to, like, you might not get the best, and maybe they might not give you as much as you're truly worth, but they're going to give you that guarantee. They're going to build you up. They're going to gauge how your numbers did. And then they're going to say, okay, where do we go from here? Or maybe you can say, all right, I'm going to give you 3 albums and then I'm out, or I got to give you 4 and I'm out, but what do you know about Top Rank in the
In the
I
scheme
guess
of
the
things,
assumption that they're the like starter pack.
you know something? I would agree with that 100%. And to give people a context, they're like the Interscope Records. Number one, Top Rank, they service any kind of fighter. They service the blue chip fighter.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Olympian, they service the blue collar fighter with the background if they need to create a story about you. All right.
Mm-hmm.
They service even the European market with their affiliations with Sky Sports, right? So then they have those tentacles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at Interscope Records, Interscope still services, Maroon 5 and Dr. Dre and Kendrick Lamar and 50 Cent and Eminem, still servicing not only those older artists, but the audience that cater to those older artists, right?
Right.
But then they also have the young artists like a Chief Keef, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They also have the Roddy Riches, and different guys where they cater to the streaming or the newer generation. So you're right. Whatever you need as a fighter, Top Rank can package you. They can present you. They can promote you. I remember Bob Arum saying about Michaela Mayer. He paid her 200 grand for the Hamadou's fight.
Wow.
And the gate didn't even make 15,000. But look at what he marketed her to the point of, and she's still marketable.
Right.
Do you understand? Like, so yes, Interscope and Top Rank, I would compare the two. They're strong labels and the exposure, tentacles. Interscope beats Apple Music, that kind of, right? ESPN Plus, Sky Sports. They play around with BT Sports as well. Those are two different UK channels, sports channels, that they have relationships where they might do deals either with the promotional companies that rock out. So if they'll do something with BT Sports that does something with Frank Warren, how you think they got Tyson Fury?
Yeah. I like that analogy with the tentacles. That's very good, man. Very clever, my friend. But let me ask you something, right? So we talked about the pros of the building, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then we got the situation where, I don't know if you remember this, and I'm sure you do. Remember when it was a time when Benny Siegel he kind of had fell back. He said he was coming back. He came back and he actually kicked J Ball over the fence. I'm not gonna lie. He came back with a vicious single, and it was like, dang, that was like the second person that was the first person other than Nas that I actually heard rip J.
Yeah.
Respectfully. You know what I'm saying? But he said, look, I went to UJ. I said, I've been talking to 50. He said he want to work with me. I'm like, man, that would have been gangster if 50 would have got with Beans. I'm like, man, because I was a big Beans fan. Absolutely. And when 50 first came out, he put a dent in the game. You spoke to it, you know what I'm saying, with the Shadeja Green, you know what I'm saying, the Jay-Z analogy the other day. I picked up on that, right? Had to chew on a little bit. And I was thinking that time when he said, man, I talked to Jay, man. He said he sat in that hour with that tennis ball and bounced that tennis ball for like an hour and never got back to him. He was hot. The reason why I bring that up is because there was a time when Beans could have actually went and made a deal with 50, and he could have reinvigorated his career. Where I'm going with this is there are times where when you go to Top Rank and it's time to leave, if you're not on one accord, because we have the Mikey Garcias, we see and hear about the time when Floyd was there and he transitioned. So there we talked about the good as far as the building, but what about that aspect to where when a label got you and they know they got you under their thumb and they might not want you to leave, it might be something that you might have to give up, or you might have to Andy Dufresne your way up out of there.
You made an interesting point, and we're going to stick with the Interscope analogy, and we also going to stick with 50 Cent. Because remember, we still been waiting for that Street King Immortal album on Interscope from 50 Cent. It'll never come out. They tried to muddy him, okay? 50 Cent ended up being owed $24 million by Interscope Records, which is why they tried to overbill him for the Adam Levine and Eminem single, which is
Wow.
why, you know, some might even believe they tried to jam him up with that car accident on the highway. They was trying to get him up out of here because they didn't want to pay that man $24 million when they did that forensic audit. They're
Wow.
going to dirty you up before you leave. They're going to try to shelf you. You know what I'm saying? They're going
Like
to try to,
Mikey. Didn't
like
Mikey sat on the shelf? How long did Mikey sit on the shelf? You remember?
14 months. I think 14 months.
Hey. Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to shelf you. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I got another guy, if you into hip hop, Bishop Lamont. He was up under Dr. Dre. He had a mixtape called The Reformation, featured Busta Rhymes. Bishop Lamont was Kendrick Lamar before Bishop Lamont.
Wow.
But Bishop Lamont said, and the name even said, the fact that he used his name like that, Bishop Lamont, Kendrick Lamar, a lyrical cat from Carson. You got a lyrical cat from Compton.
Wow.
Building cats. Interscope can build a cat if they want to. Now they building Baby King, right?
Wow.
Top Rank claim to fame is who they never even really built. The same way Interscope claim to fame is who they never really built. Interscope built their backs off of Death Row. They got that off of a side deal because Warner Brothers didn't want to touch him. It was accidental, okay? Bob Arum was the only one that could help Don King because ain't nobody want to deal with Don King. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you can't be used, you're useless. So Bob Arum inserted himself in the Thriller and Manila deal as an attorney, and that's how he got his claim to fame in the boxing world, point blank, period. So in the same way Jimmy Iovine made his name in the industry off of the back of Death Row and Suge Knight and all the tragedy that ensued, Bob Arum made his name off of Muhammad Ali and also contributed to the tragedy that ensued in Muhammad Ali's career late in that part. Now, granted, one person may say, well, he helped him because he gave him fights late in his career. Nah, I say he whored him out, which is the same reason he trying to whore him out behind the name of his grandson that's looking like motherfucking Al Gulo's son. The nigga look like Alfredo Angulo more than he look like anything to do with Ali. But I'm just saying, we bringing this back to building stars. They can build you, but they will try to break you. I don't know if it's buck breaking, but they will try to break you.
It reminds me of Dre now. It reminds you of Dre now because there's a lot of people that go over there and get lost in the weeds. But when you look at that one hitter, when you look at Snoop coming out under Dre, when you're looking at Eminem coming out under Dre, 50 coming out under Dre, The Game coming out under Dre, that first, all of those are like lethal injections in the game. Those first projects are epic.
Yeah.
Almost second to none when you come out the gate. Now, there are some people that come over, like I heard Eve had came over there, Rakim had went over there.
Buster.
It got lost in the weeds. They got lost in the weeds. Yep, Buster. I mean, it was some real serious things that was going on as far as, you know, with Dre. Now, if he worked with you and he vibing, because I heard he's a perfectionist, if he vibing with you and you with him and you understand him and you conform to what he's doing, a la Bob, you conform to the game plan, he's gonna make you hot.
Yes.
But if you get a line, you know how they say if you miss a step today, you're gonna be frying fish tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I heard that's how it was with Dre. So I thought that was, you know, interesting, man. Some of those analogies, man, and how, you know, you can get trapped on a label or you can get trapped on a label in boxing as well.
Well, let's look at that. Let's segue over to PBC because I feel like PBC is Def Jam. The name Al Haymon, or if you reference Al Haymon in a Russell Simmons type capacity. And let's give a little bit of backstory on Al Haymon. People might not know Al Haymon made his bones as a promoter. His claim to fame was the Fresh Fest in 1987. He was one of the first promoters to bring a national hip hop tour in history, because nobody believed that hip hop could be on tour. I believe he had Houdini on that tour, Big Daddy Kane. He had Budweiser, which at the time was obviously a major sponsor. So to put alcohol with an urban sponsor, to give it that, you know, and bring them around the United States, Al Haymon used that model of, yo, I can make it hot. I can make it hot. Now that's the problem with PBC, because all the fighters gotta make themselves hot.
Yeah.
It's not set up for the matches to be made where it's good matchmaking. Eventually they gotta meet. You know, one guy might be sacrificed against the other. It ain't like that over there. It ain't like that at Def Jam. Just because you on Def Jam, just because Uncle Russ is over there, you gonna release a good album and have all these guys on your project. Your project could go to shit just because. So the name no longer means anything, you know. So you know, Al Haymon is like Russell Simmons, a figurehead. Matter of fact, he like Lady Eloise and Boomerang and shit. You know what